Imagine lights going out while your phone dies and uncertainty grows quickly. You picture a humming machine outside, a small fortress of power against chaos, and relief arrives in the form of gasoline and copper. This is the emotional image that sells generators, and it works because safety feels tangible when you can hear it running. But emotion alone should never be the only reason for an investment as heavy as a generator. Decisions about backup power need cold facts layered over feelings, and those facts are often more complicated than the ads let on. We will start by dismantling the myth and then rebuild a practical approach to whether a generator is right for you. First, let's define what a generator really is and what it does for a home or business. Generators convert mechanical energy into electrical energy and come in many sizes, from tiny inverter models to large standby systems that power entire buildings reliably. Understanding the main types matters because each one serves different needs and budgets and has different maintenance burdens and noise profiles. We will compare portable, inverter, and standby generators to understand which fits which situation and why type matters more than brand in many cases. There are times when a generator is unquestionably a good investment and times when it is not worth the cost. If you live in a remote area with unreliable grid power, a generator can maintain safety, food, and heating, turning potential disaster into a manageable inconvenience. But in dense urban areas with short outage durations and quick utility responses, a generator may become a rarely used and costly piece of equipment. Your context matters deeply, and the rest of this video will give you a framework to evaluate that context precisely. To judge whether a generator makes sense for you, calculate the true cost of ownership beyond the sticker price. The initial purchase is only the beginning because fuel, maintenance, installation, permits, and depreciation pile up into a multi-year expense you must anticipate. Think of a generator like a car that sits idle most days, but requires fresh oil, fuel, and occasional repair at unpredictable moments. We'll walk you through a realistic 5-year cost example, so you can compare that expense against other preparedness investments. Maintenance is the quiet cost that kills many first-time generator owners with surprise bills and frustration. Spark plugs, oil changes, fuel stabilizers, battery replacements, and seasonally run testing are necessary tasks that add labor and parts costs each year. Neglecting maintenance drains reliability and can leave you with a machine that won't start exactly when you need it most. We'll outline a maintenance schedule and price estimate to help you budget realistically, rather than hope for luck. Fuel logistics are another often underestimated problem that transforms a generator into a liability during long outages. Gasoline and diesel have limited shelf lives and need stabilizers, while propane requires tanks and supply planning that are far from trivial. In a widespread disaster, the supply chain for fuel can break down, making a gasoline-dependent generator suddenly useless without safe, legal backup supplies. We'll explain different fuel strategies and how to assess which one aligns with your locality and risk profile. Noise and emissions create social and regulatory headaches that are often ignored in DIY planning. Portable generators can be loud and polluting, causing neighbor complaints and even code violations in some communities when used improperly. Standby generators reduce noise impact with installed enclosures, but require permits and professional installation that significantly increases the upfront cost. We will cover local legal considerations and how to avoid fines and social friction when using backup power. Now, let's be practical and outline situations where a generator absolutely makes sense without hesitation. Medical dependency, running critical business operations, or living in a region with frequent prolonged outages are clear scenarios where backup power is essential. Businesses that lose revenue for every hour of downtime face hard mathematics that often justify standby installations quickly. We'll present a simple decision rule that compares outage risk, outage cost, and generator lifetime cost to make your choice clearer. But a generator is rarely the smartest first investment for the general homeowner, and sometimes it's unnecessary altogether. Civil defense spending such as food, water, insurance, and community shelter agreements often delivers much higher utility per dollar than a seldom used generator. If ice storms cause lights to flicker for a few hours and utility repair times are measured in hours not days, buying a generator might crowd out more useful resilience measures. We'll show how to build a basic preparedness checklist that rivals a generator in real-world effectiveness. A cost comparison can illuminate the decision in concrete terms if you allow numbers to speak plainly. Consider the 5-year total cost of a mid-range portable generator, including purchase, fuel, and maintenance versus investing the same funds into food, water filtration, and a backup battery system. Surprisingly, investments in food supplies and modern lithium battery backups often outperform generators when outages are short and predictable. We will run through sample calculations and scenarios so you can see which option yields the most utility for your specific risks. Real examples help turn abstract numbers into human stories you can relate to. A coastal family replaced spoiled food and 4 nights without power with a used portable generator. But they spent twice as much on maintenance and wasted fuel when storms cut off roads for days. Contrast that with a suburban clinic that installed a professionally wired standby generator and saved thousands in revenue and reputational damage during a regional outage. These stories demonstrate how context, use, case, and scale change the calculus entirely. For homeowners considering purchase, evaluate power needs carefully rather than guessing based on convenience. Prioritize essential circuits like refrigeration, medical equipment, and heating rather than trying to power every appliance simultaneously, which dramatically ups generator size and cost. A smaller generator running essential loads can be cheaper, quieter, and far more fuel efficient than a full house model that runs infrequently. We'll give a step-by-step load calculation method that anyone can use to determine the right generator size and type. Installation choices split into DIY portable setups and professionally installed standby systems, and this decision changes both cost and risk dramatically. Portable units offer flexibility and lower upfront cost, but require safe transfer switches and careful placement to avoid carbon monoxide risks. Professional standby installations usually involve transfer switches, external enclosures, and fuel hookups that comply with local codes, but carry a much higher installation bill. We will compare both approaches and explain the safety concerns that make professional work sometimes non-negotiable. Safety is not negotiable when it comes to generators because poorly installed units create immediate hazards. Carbon monoxide, poisoning, electrical backfeed, and fire risk are all real outcomes of improper use or wiring. Investing in carbon monoxide detectors, proper exhaust positioning, and certified transfer switches reduces those risks significantly and should be part of your budget. We will outline the essential safety checklist to protect your household and your neighbors when a generator runs. Beyond buying and installing, optimizing generator costs requires thinking like an operations manager rather than a one-time shopper. Rotating fuel, scheduled test runs, and pre-arranged fuel contracts during hurricane season reduce long-term costs and increase reliability when outages occur. Community-level solutions like shared generators for apartment complexes or neighborhood fuel cooperatives can spread costs and reduce individual burden. We will explore practical cost optimization strategies that maintain readiness without bankrupting your emergency fund. Alternative technologies have emerged and sometimes outcompete traditional generators for many use cases. Lithium battery systems with solar charging, portable power stations, and smart microgrids offer silent, low-maintenance backup for essential loads during shorter outages. These systems decline in cost every year and often come with warranties and lower operational hassles than fossil fuel generators. We'll compare battery-based backups against fuel generators across noise, maintenance, fuel availability, and long-term cost metrics to show where each shines. Insurance and community services sometimes reduce the need for personal generators, if you think strategically. Some homeowner policies cover food, spoilage, and certain losses, while community shelters provide power and warmth during prolonged events. Understanding what your insurance covers and what your local emergency services provide can prevent redundant investment in a generator. We will guide you through questions to ask your insurer and local emergency manager before spending a single dollar. For business owners, the calculus is mercilessly financial and often simpler to compute. Downtime directly translates into lost revenue and customer trust, making backup power an insurance policy with measurable ROI in many industries: retailers, medical offices, and data. Sensitive businesses often justify standby generators quickly when they calculate hours of lost revenue against generator lifetime cost. We'll show a simple formula to decide for businesses and examples where generators paid for themselves within months. If you decide that a generator is right for you, buying smart matters, because not all generators are created equal. Pay attention to continuous wattage ratings rather than peak numbers, look for fuel efficiency metrics, and check real-world reviews for reliability rather than marketing claims. Warranty terms and local service networks often matter more than a slight price difference at purchase. We will walk through specific specifications to prioritize and red flags to avoid when choosing between models and brands. Used generators offer a tempting way to lower upfront costs, but they come with hidden risks that every buyer must vet carefully. Hours of prior use, maintenance records, and evidence of fuel. Storing practices reveal whether a used generator is a bargain or a future liability. A cautious used purchase includes a compression test, a full oil change, and a professional inspection to avoid buying someone else's problems. We will provide a checklist for evaluating used units and negotiating price adjustments based on findings. Training and routine drills matter as much as equipment ownership because a generator only helps if someone knows how to use it safely. Practice starts with simple exercises like swapping over circuits and running the unit for the recommended monthly period. Create written procedures and keep them near the electrical panel so anyone can follow them in an emergency. We'll give a compact drill plan that families and small businesses can adopt to ensure readiness under stress. There are psychological benefits to owning a generator that are real and should not be dismissed lightly. The sense of control and reduced anxiety during storm season can improve family well-being in ways that are hard to measure numerically. But beware of cognitive biases like overconfidence and sunk cost fallacy that make owners cling to poorly performing equipment. We will discuss how to balance psychological comfort with objective performance and cost metrics when deciding on a purchase. Let's review the numbers with a concise decision framework you can use immediately. Compare three variables: your outage risk, the cost of outage per hour, and the total lifetime cost of the generator, including maintenance and fuel. If the product of outage risk and outage cost exceeds the generator lifetime cost, then a generator is mathematically justifiable. We'll provide example calculations for different household and small business scenarios, so you can plug in your own numbers easily. Case studies clarify how the framework applies in the real world with messy variables and emotions. A northern homeowner who loses power for days during winter found a standby generator essential for safety and peace, and the investment paid off in comfort and avoided losses. In contrast, a city dweller who bought a generator for occasional short outages found it parked unused and costly within 2 years. These cases show that location and outage profile are decisive factors in the decision. We also need to talk about scalability and future proofing, because what you buy today must meet needs tomorrow. As climate change increases the frequency and intensity of storms in many regions, your outage profile may worsen, and your backup choices should adapt accordingly. Modular battery systems and scalable standby setups provide pathways to expand capacity without complete replacements. We'll discuss upgrade strategies, so your investment remains useful as circumstances change over time. If budget is tight, prioritize incremental resilience, measures before a full generator purchase to maximize returns on limited funds. Start with a high-quality power station, a small solar setup, and essential supplies that provide immediate benefits during short outages. Only after exhausting those cheaper resilience improvements should you escalate to a generator if gaps still exist. We'll provide a recommended purchase sequence for those with constrained budgets to help save money while building capability step by step. Community strategies can dramatically reduce individual costs and increase collective resilience when implemented thoughtfully. Shared generators at apartment complexes, business cooperatives, or community centers spread costs and maintenance responsibilities across many users. These cooperative approaches require governance, scheduling, and trust, but the economic benefits are real and often overlooked. We will outline how to propose and manage a community generator project that avoids common pitfalls and ensures fair access. When you finally decide to buy, negotiation and timing can save you significant money if you play the market wisely. off-season purchases, end-of-year sales, and buying from reputable dealers who include service packages will lower total ownership costs substantially. Ask for bundled maintenance, extended warranties, and demonstration of local service availability before signing. We'll give negotiation scripts and timing tips, so your purchase is structured to maximize value rather than gut reaction. Installation day can be stressful, but preparation reduces surprises and ensures safety from the start. Confirm permits, schedule electrical inspections, and require certified installers to connect standby systems properly to avoid dangerous backfeed into the grid. For portable units, practice safe fueling logistics and position units where exhaust and noise are minimized. We'll list a pre-installation checklist to make sure the first run goes smoothly and safely for everyone involved. Maintenance over time is where the investment either holds its value or becomes a sunk cost. Creating a maintenance calendar, keeping spare parts on hand, and using qualified technicians for annual inspections preserves reliability and resale value. Document every service and keep manuals organized so future owners or technicians can understand the equipment history. We'll provide a template maintenance calendar. You can adapt to your model and usage pattern to protect your investment. Now for the philosophical twist. A generator is less a purchase than a choice about priorities and trust. Choosing a generator is deciding whether to trust your community, your insurance, or your own preparedness capabilities to keep you safe during emergencies. This choice reflects deeper values about independence, social bonds, and risk allocation in uncertain times. Whether you buy a generator or invest in other resilience measures, the real question is how you allocate limited resources to create a life that feels secure and meaningful. To summarize the practical advice we've covered, ask 3 questions before buying. How often will it be used? What does an outage cost you per hour? And what alternatives exist that achieve similar goals for less cost? If your answers point to frequent, high-cost outages and no viable alternatives, a generator makes sense. If your outages are short, infrequent, or covered by community resources or battery backups, then you should consider postponing or choosing cheaper resilience measures instead. Use the decision framework we gave earlier to make the choice systematic rather than emotional. Finally, if you choose to buy today, do so with humility and a plan for integration into your household practices. Track costs, schedule maintenance, and keep practicing drills so the generator becomes a reliable part of your resilience system rather than an expensive lawn ornament. Remember that resilience is layered and a generator is only one layer among many, including supplies, community plans, and insurance. If this video gave you a new perspective on making a smart choice, hit subscribe and consider sharing it with someone planning their next preparedness purchase. Before we go, here are quick practical takeaways you can act on this week to improve readiness without overspending. First, perform a short outage audit that calculates likely outage hours and critical loads you must keep running for safety. Second, get at least one high-quality portable power station or battery backup for immediate, quiet relief and test it under load. Third, talk to neighbors and local emergency officials about shared options and reliable fuel sources to build resilience together. If you want a downloadable worksheet we used for the decision framework, you can find it in the video description to plug in your numbers immediately. Using the worksheet will give clarity and reduce impulse buying when storm season approaches and fears rise. Calculated decisions beat emotional reactions in the long run because they account for both probabilities and practical constraints. Download the tool, run the numbers, and make a confident, informed choice based on your unique situation. For those who want to go deeper, consider subscribing since future videos will dive into battery-based backups, solar integration, and insurer strategies that can often replace or augment generators. We will also interview technicians and community organizers to show practical implementation stories. If you liked this video, please share it with friends who are debating whether to buy a generator this season. Your share might save someone thousands of dollars or keep them safe when it matters most. Thank you for watching and thinking critically about preparedness rather than buying into fear-based marketing. The world will continue to surprise us, and the best investments are the ones that combine humility, analysis, and community cooperation. If this gave you a new perspective, Hit subscribe and join us for more practical, calm guides to navigating uncertain times. Stay prepared, stay kind, and remember that power is useful only when it is safe and shared responsibly.